It makes me so angry. Again, I have no words for this. They lied in the ads. Oh my god. Hi friends, this is Axi, your favorite YouTube architect. Today I want to talk a bit about what it means to move to another country and to buy property in that country as well. And this example will be all about Andalucia. So we had this idea of moving there. We imagined it would be quite nice to be in the countryside, to live remotely, and to live in a house there because it's warmer as Northern Europe as well. We decided to make a trip, look at properties and see how it is. So my boyfriend made a lot of research and arranged all the visits beforehand. So in early September we went there, we saw a lot of houses. My job was just to give my opinion basically, which I love doing, especially if it's about houses. So without much further ado, I'm gonna go right into some very important points that I've seen in multiple properties. I didn't want to organize this video by property because I think it would get very boring because there's a lot of things that I would repeat for each property. So I structured it by very important points that I was shocked, just to put it plainly. The first point that we noticed, which is never stated in any of the ads online, is that a lot of houses are illegal. They are not supposed to be there. They will never become legal because they're on rural land and they're not on the papers. And you know, this is very unusual because I've never encountered this ever in my whole life. In case you don't know this, you should never buy anything that's illegal because the state can always come and demand that you demolish it because it's not in the papers, so it shouldn't exist there. I was very shocked by this, and I also asked a real estate agent what's the deal with this and who buys this, because they were all the same price as like legal properties. And the real estate agent said that it's mostly Spanish people who buy this because they feel like they know how things go around, they can deal with this, and they don't feel like this is a big issue. Fine with them. Not so fine with me. Point number 2 is again a bit related to point number 1 in the sense that the ads online don't match the reality. And I have 2 examples for this. The first one is a house that was just a shell, so just the outer walls and the very water damaged roof, which was not registered as a house, of course. It was registered as an animal shed. Of course we asked, can you register? No, of course, it's rural land. And then what happens if you live in a house that's actually a rural shed? The real estate agent said that you cannot have post delivered, you cannot register at the city hall there. So basically it's just living like on the field without any address. It gets funnier with this house as well because it had a pool, and the pool wasn't registered as a pool. It was registered as a reservoir for water. And my boyfriend asked, of course, but can you register it as a pool? To which the very logical answer came, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to have it legal? I have no words to this. The second one, in which I was again very shocked by the actual reality, I measured it. It was quite a small house. I measured it and it was around 50 square meters. It had a hay shed about 20 square meters, which was also included in the ad as if it was like a living quarters, like a room, but it was a shed. And then, because it was so small, I asked my boyfriend, why did you want to see this? This seems very small and doesn't make any sense. And then we checked the ad, and the ad said that it was 120 square meters. So basically, they lied in the ad by more than double the actual size of the house. Again, I have no words for this. Point number 3, which I'm just encountering now, it may be valid for a lot of other countries as well. We've dealt with a lot of real estate agents who gave advice that they were not entitled to give, especially related to construction and waterproofing and structural construction basically. We would ask a lot of questions, or my boyfriend would ask a lot of questions about openings. Can you make an opening bigger? Can you demolish this wall? What do you think about this water damage? And the real estate agents always answered him what he wanted to hear. So you can make the opening bigger, you can demolish this wall, there's no issue with the water damage. This is something that they cannot say because they're salespeople, not structural engineers or architects. So nobody except a structural engineer can tell you that you can make an opening bigger or that you can demolish a wall. For some cases, it was very obvious that you couldn't demolish a wall, and then they would say, yeah, no worries, you can demolish it. And I was like, no, you can demolish it. This structure, I think, is not okay. And then they would say, oh, you need to consult a specialist, like an architect or something. I would answer, I'm an architect. And they were like, I don't know then. For us it was okay because I was quite informed and I could see what would cost a lot of money to do or what was really impossible to do. But I'm just thinking, you know, for many people who don't know anything about this and ask these questions, and the real estate agent just answers them what they want to hear, it's just so wrong, and it makes me so angry that this happens. Maybe it's like a general thing with all real estate agents. I hope not. Point number 4, it's a very basic and straightforward one. If you hit your head when you're going up the stairs, it's a no. That is a very big flaw, and in architecture school you fail first year, second year, and basically all years. You cannot finish architecture school if you make that mistake when designing. So I'm not sure what happened there, I'm not sure how they designed that. There were a lot of houses in which my boyfriend hit his head, and he always asked me, can you change this, can you make it so I don't hit my head? And the answer was usually no. It is how it is, and it's not okay. I'm sorry. I could go on and on about many things that I noticed that we or I or all of us need to pay attention when buying properties, and I can make more videos about this. So let me know if you would find that useful. For my last point, it's not about real estate, it's about Andalucia. As I said, we went there with this idea of being remote in the countryside, or with the trees around us, with good internet, working remotely, no worries in the world. And then when we were there and we were visiting houses, and they were all very remote, a lot of them were on like dirt roads which would go very steep up and down. At one point I panicked, and I realized I could never live there. It's way too remote. We were so far away from any civilization. Sometimes it would take 40 minutes to the next village. Oh my god. At the end of the trip we just realized this wasn't really at all what we imagined, but yeah, of course we had this flawed idea in our head. We couldn't wait to go home from this trip. We decided to move to a place that we knew and we liked and didn't have any of these issues with being remote, so stay tuned. I'm gonna make more videos about it. As a closing, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.